Hello, everybody, and welcome to Facebook Live this morning. Happy Monday. I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Today, we are going to be talking to Angel Lawrie. But first, over here at the On Air Advocate, you know that our primary concern always is to provide education, support, and empowerment for all of those with different abilities, mental and medical illnesses, and their caregivers. So if you already don't know, my name is Tammy Flynn, and I am your host as well as the producer of the On Air Advocate. And I am super excited that you're joining me and Angel here on this Monday. So the way we're going to do this is, if you do have any comments or questions during this Facebook Live, please just drop them below. Also, once we start talking, if you do find that this broadcast would be very advantageous for anybody, please make sure to hit the share button. That would be great. So again, I hope you all are having a great Monday. And I wanted to talk a little bit about it. The On Air Advocate, most of you know that we do pick a weekly focus. This time around, we picked 2 weeks because there was so much content. So we are focusing on holistic and natural supports in and outside of our community. So if you tuned in last week, you would have heard from our fabulous pharmacist in Georgia. We also spoke last night with our guru on acupuncture, as well as Reiki and more. And there's lots more coming up this week. So without further ado, I am super excited to introduce you guys to another community support that we have. This woman is absolutely fabulous, has a list of accolades a mile long, but her name is Angel Lawrie. She is not only an innovative therapist, which I can't wait to find out more about. She's an educator, she's a speaker, she's a professional steel drum artist. So we can't wait to hear about that too. Angel, she organizes community events, and she is also a band leader. So welcome, Angel.
Hi, Tammy. It's good to be here.
Yes, and we have sunshine on this Monday. It's very cold here in Wisconsin, but we have sunshine, so that's good.
Oh, finally, huh? Makes the snow a little bit prettier.
Yes, yes. Now, the biggest thing that, I guess I was thinking when I first got introduced to you is, what is innovative therapy? And, I had not heard about it before. As some of you know, I have been a special needs mom now for over 2 decades. And so I have really went the gamut of tons of different modalities as well as therapies. And so when I was introduced to Angel, I said, innovative therapy, what is that all about? So I'm going to give you the floor, Angel, to kind of dive into that and start to explain.
Okay, I love this question, Tammy, because I even struggled myself trying to communicate a title that would explain what happens when I work with students or adults. And innovative therapy was a title that one of my business coach gave me to kind of explain how I use different modalities together. I started out as a band director and worked in music education with kids. And I started working with students with special needs. And we all know that music touches everyone in a certain way and works with emotional issues. And I saw a lot of success with that, but I wasn't happy with just that modality by itself. And I saw that there would be much more benefit to combine more together at the same time. Mm-hmm. So then I decided to take music therapy a little bit further and add vibrational elements to it. So not only are we just exposing people to music, but now we are using vibration from the different tones. And I don't know if you're familiar, you might be, since we talked about acupuncture yesterday, that in Chinese medical theory, there are the 5 internal organ and meridian systems have musical tones. And what I'm doing is sort of using those tones and vibrations from different pitches, and I can stimulate changes in the body, either whole body or localized. And when I do it localized, I can actually improve bone growth. I can help with emotional stability. And I also, then when I started seeing that was happening, I felt like I needed to even expand more. So I decided to incorporate circulatory massage with that. So now we have the music part, we have the vibrational part, and we have the circulatory massage at the same time. And circulatory massage, if you're not sure what that is, or body work, is a kneading or a long motion over the body that creates blood flow and helps stimulate the places that I'm trying to work with each individual.
Okay. So it combines those three categories together?
Yes, and then on top of that, a lot of my the people that work with me will say that laying on the table, sort of like a truth serum, when we get all those modalities working together, we can also incorporate cognitive therapy. So the reason why it's really important, though, for kids with special needs to use all of these modalities is because you know as well as I do that kids with special needs can't always verbalize what they want to say.
Right.
And have issues with that. Well, music kind of bypasses that part of the brain. Music works with the right side of the brain and the left side of the brain simultaneously. It's one of the only sciences that does that effectively. But the right side often deals with sadness or emotional issues that are too tough for the student or the adult to deal with. And so we can bypass that and work straight with the emotions, and we don't have to just count on words.
Okay. That is so interesting. And you've been doing, how long would you say that you have been doing the innovative therapy and integrating all of these together?
Yes, I've been working with special needs kids for over 25 years. I've been doing the innovative therapy for the last 5 years, but really focusing and really trying to put all the modalities together the last 2 years.
Okay. And when you're putting all those modalities together, would you say that there is a category of individuals, whether that be adults, youth, children, smaller children, babies, or aging loved ones, that innovative therapy really services best?
When I first started working doing this, I really concentrated on kids with special needs, especially kids with obstinate defiance disorder or some type of behavior disorder where this is really effective. But it also branches out now to people with dementia, people who suffer from anxiety. And I have to tell you that I didn't do this through learning how to do this book-wise. I mean, I've done all my studies and I've done my education about each modality, but a lot of it was personal growth too, because I struggled from anxiety myself. I struggled with ADHD myself. So a lot of this came from also just internally trying to heal as well. And I think that really helps me understand and identify with the students and the adults that I'm working with.
That's wonderful. And then you have all of the musical aspects of this as well. So because you're talking about your musical background, and I know when we spoke the other day, I know that you used to live in another state, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so how did all of these pieces of the puzzle come together? I know we kind of talked about, you took a couple of the pieces of things that you've learned to put together this innovative therapy. But with all of those other things that you do and you're still doing, a lot of them are separate from the innovative therapy, correct?
That's correct. It sounds like a lot of different parts, but they all work together very, very well. The whole idea of music therapy, the reason why I didn't want to just label this therapy music therapy is because a lot of people who are looking to help their children think that means playing an instrument.
Right.
And you do not have to have a musical skill to benefit from music and the vibration of these tones to a localized part of your body and the circulatory body work. You don't need to be talented on an instrument to do that. However, because I understand the makeup and I do play an instrument, it helps me as a therapist to bring the right pitches, the right music, the right type of music to each person for what they're trying to work on. And the whole idea of the steel drum is really unique for me because I can manipulate that instrument in my practice to do with it what I want to do tone-wise, and the way the notes are arranged, the balance work, the movement with that. So that instrument relates very well to my practice and is very useful to me because it's as flexible as I am.
Right. And so with the innovative therapy and this huge musical background and how you incorporate the music therapy, and I know that for myself, when I've thought of people saying, "Oh, I take my child to music therapy," my thought is that they're going and they're playing an instrument. When we're talking about music therapy separately, like those types of programs, what is music therapy overall meant to do by itself? I know you've integrated these other things into it because you felt that it was, lacking and wanted to make it more full circle.
Mm-hmm.
What does music therapy do? And for kiddos, that have special needs, for our aging loved ones, for anyone who possibly suffers with chronic pain or illness, with music therapy corely by itself, what is really the benefit of it? I mean, what are the things that parents and individuals should be looking for if they know that they have a loved one that they're caring for and they look at it and they're like, oh, this is a good fit. This is going to really help with X, Y, and Z. Is it a lot of that balance, anxiety lowering? I'll let you take the floor on that.
Yeah. Well, the best way to really understand it is, let's go with, for right now, students with special needs. Okay. I really believe that kids that are on the spectrum, and I don't know that every music therapist believes this, but I believe that children on the spectrum do not have disorders. I believe that they're gifted. They are very gifted. And I believe that the brain is a very complex organ, and I believe it can do several things at different times. And when kids with special needs on the spectrum are feeling agitated and feeling anxiety because they suffer for some type of communicative challenge to talk to us, or aren't able to bond with a certain another person or another human being the way that we would normally convey our emotions, that causes a lot of internal stress. And so music therapy calms that behavior. It also works with the left brain stimulus and the right brain to help with repetitive behaviors that cause agitation. So the exposure to music and the exposure to different tones and to using that therapy brings relief of the stress that is underlying of the challenges that they have. But that's what I'm trying to explain, is that's where I came up with innovative therapy, because that's okay, and I've had success with that. I've had success with hundreds of students using music therapy, but it wasn't quite enough for me. And I've been dedicating my efforts the past year to really elaborating on that and realizing that it's not enough to just calm the anxiety. It's not enough to help with the repetitiveness, but also to get in and teach new thought patterns to the brain. And that's where I use the vibrational therapy and the tones.
Okay. And the vibrational therapy and the tones, and then you were talking about like the circulatory, is that like where there's some massage concepts that come into it as well? I'm trying to visualize this, and for our audience, kind of visualize what a session is like.
Well, there's a lot, there are a lot of, kids that have special needs that are on the spectrum. They're some of my favorite people because they really understand the word love and what that means. And really, when they come into my practice, we decide what's best for them. And a typical day in my practice might be, if they can handle it right away, I would get them up on a heated table where I warm them up so that they're feeling secure and they're feeling safe. And then we might start, kids on the spectrum don't always like to be touched at first. And there's also a big, strong myth that they cannot deal with music. Not all of them can deal with sound, but that's not true. That's a conditioning of the brain, and it's one of the challenges that they face, and it's one of the things that I can correct immediately when they're here. I really try to show them how we can do that. Now, it's not a good idea to, with someone on the spectrum, to bring them in and just start playing music, right away at them. I mean, it's all done in steps. But if you use the tones in a certain way and you do it localized on their body, you can make the muscles contract and relax and get them to a place where they're able to deal with the emotions and get past the emotion, and then we can deal with what the challenge is.
Right. And now for the instrument, are they playing the instrument, or are you playing the instrument, or is it background sound?
It's all of the above. Sometimes it can be playful. If I feel like I need to be playful first and get them comfortable, then yes, we play the instruments together. If I'm doing vibrational therapy, then it's actually recorded music that I use that I'm actually putting localized on their body for the body work. And if it's something that I'm trying to change a thought pattern and I'm talking to them and using cognitive therapy, then I might be playing the music in the background. So at any given treatment, I can use all three of those modalities at one time.
That is so, it's cool, it's interesting, it's awesome, and it's innovative, just like you're talking about with the innovative therapies. And so you've been practicing this with everyone or just kids for the last 2 years. I know that you've kind of fully incorporated it into your practice.
When I was solely doing the music therapy and the vibration therapy, I mostly had students, but when I incorporated the body work and started using the circulatory massage technique that was developed in Sweden, actually, a lot of things happened with that. Not only was I reducing anxiety and trying to, and getting the heart rate to come down, but it also aids in getting rid of metabolic waste. And so I ended up, and toxins, so I ended up getting a lot of adults that enjoy this now and use this. And another sector that I've just started working with that I really love is newborn babies. I've been called in to work with premature newborn babies where I can use toning and different processes to help them with their breathing rates and get a deeper sleep, especially if they're born premature.
How is that? That is so fabulous. Now, is this type of a treatment one? How long is it? So what is the duration of time you usually see someone, and how often do they have it?
Okay, so I'm infamous for going overtime because I like to go until myself and the client that I'm working with feels comfortable where they are, because you remember we're working with emotions. So it's really hard to put a time limit on that, but I'm getting better and more consistent with the patterns of helping them. And we usually can do it in about an hour to an hour and 10 minutes.
Okay, an hour to an hour and 10 minutes. And then how often would they be coming for this type of an innovative therapy?
That is such a really great question, and I actually provide programs for that, because along with anything that you're doing naturally, when you're changing patterns with the brain, I'm sure you've heard this before, that if you start an exercise routine, it takes 2 weeks to fully get into the routine, or if you're changing a habit, it takes about 2 weeks. So one session will make you feel considerably better, but to actually change the behavior pattern, change the way we're thinking, through the left brain, right brain function, it takes consistent treatment. So I like people to come once or twice a week for about a month, and then we take it from there.
Okay, so once or twice a week for about a month. Now, we were talking about, you have a location here. So if you are located in southeastern Wisconsin, you have a location in Racine, correct?
Yes, we're actually in Franksville, and I'm located in the second half of Racine Community Acupuncture, which is called Harmony Hall. And my office is right there. Yes.
Okay, so right inside there. Now, I know we spoke a little bit about, for people who are homebound, can't leave, or like you're talking about the little newborn babies, do you do on-site, on-call visits?
I do. I travel to hospitals. I travel to homes. I've done a few nursing homes since I've been here. Yes, it depends on the situation and the person that's in need of healing. So yes, I do location work.
That is wonderful. And do you have any resources, I guess, if people are tuning in or watching this replay that do not live in the state of Wisconsin, you know, things, classes that you found, or wonderful institutional, you know what I'm saying, facility, places, business?
That is where this is why I struggled with my title. That's a very difficult question for me because I have attended several schools and taken several classes and kind of mixed all of the information that I have together into this treatment. So right now, I do not know of any place that's actually doing exactly what I'm doing right now with this treatment. I'm hoping to change that. That's why I was so excited to speak with you and get this news out, because I've really been, even when I first came to Racine and started working with the students here, I wasn't happy with everything we were doing. I wanted to add more, and I'm continuously looking at that. So I'm hoping to, through education and through reaching out to parents, to let them know that this is a possibility and that we can put a lot of these modalities together. And I like working with kids with special needs as well with the other programs that they use. I know a lot of them do equestrian therapy or art therapy or water therapy. All of that complements what I do very, very, very well. So.
And something possibly, if it's not in other states, that hopefully as time goes on, you can embrace some other individuals in other states to possibly take on a trend, you know, like this, of having this innovative therapy, integrating some of these wonderful things together. I think that would be
yes, my goal and my hope is to keep documenting my work, and which I am doing, and keep working on the philosophy. And then I would love to teach other teachers to do this. What I would really love is to see this happening in the schools, to see this happening in classrooms all over the United States, because a lot of times the solution for kids with special needs is either to segregate them into a room by themselves or to put them in bigger classrooms where it might. So I would really love to teach schools how to do this effectively in that kind of environment, minimizing all of those other distractions. So.
I think that would be fabulous too. I think that the school thing is always a little bit harder because, you know, we work within the confines of that it has to fit into the school setting and do their, you know, disabilities or different abilities that they have. Does it functionally impact them on their daily lives for the schools? But definitely something that I think, you know, should be brought to the table, because anything that we can do to help out our kiddos more and, you know, get them more involved, get some of that sensory stuff down is fabulous. Now, I've been dying to ask you about some of these other things as well. So, because not many times in my life, and this is before I started doing all this online stuff, have I ever met anyone that said that she was a professional steel drum artist. So I've never in my whole life, and I've talked to a lot of people, met anyone. So where did that all derive from, come from, and what is that? And then I know obviously there's that band leader that you're also a part of.
Sure. Well, when I was younger, I played the piano and I played percussion, and I loved playing the drums, and it was really fun. But because I had such a melodic love for melody and a love for composing, sometimes just drumming didn't excite me as much as playing the piano and other things. And when I went to the University of Akron to work on my bachelor's in Ohio, they had a steel band. They actually have the second oldest steel band in the United States. And I went to watch the concert, and I couldn't sit down. It was amazing. And so I thought to myself, wow, a melodic instrument that's a drum. I get to be a drummer and play, melodies. And then it just got better, because when I started college, we were able to do an exchange program in Trinidad. So I got to go to Trinidad and see the culture and learn about the culture and play with some steel drummers in Trinidad and learn about the whole origin of the instrument. And I just loved it. And when I came back, I started doing local gigs, local opportunities to perform, like weddings and golf outings and birthday parties. And of course, I performed with the University of Akron Steel Band. And then it started to grow from there. I got to go to Florence, Italy, and play in the School of Music. I played on cruise ships, Royal Caribbean cruise ships. And then I started traveling around the United States and meeting different band directors and different steel band artists and playing at different schools, became a clinician, started working that way. And then I started using my philosophy and this instrument together, and I've started several student groups that are still in existence today that I saw improvement with all of those students. And it seemed like because of the way I was teaching and the philosophy that I was developing, that I was attracting kids on the spectrum or kids with special needs. And so my groups grew larger and larger. And at one point I had a group with 50 students, and at one time all with special needs. They were called the Steel Angels. They were amazing.
Oh, gosh. Was that here?
Yeah.
Was that here, or was that in another state?
That was in Ohio. Ohio. Yes. And then when I came to Racine, I decided that the community needed one here too. So I started a group called the Steel Doves, and they are a steel band, a community steel band here in Racine. And they played Festival Hall last October and had 1,000 people in attendance. And they are going to play Summerfest this year. And
really?
Liquors markets, and they have a really good time. And it's so neat because it's a collection of not just fun music to play, but it's also so educational, and it's so good for brain development and left brain, right brain. And then, like I said, also balance, because a lot of kids on the spectrum suffer from balance issues, and it's a really good therapy for them as well. So yes, I really enjoy it, but I'm never satisfied. I'm always looking, because I still feel like there's so much more to learn about the kids that I work with. And, they're just so amazing and so beautiful and so talented. And I'm determined not to quit until we figure out how to help them understand us.
Right. Right. And I know that under your list of so many things, I know that there is public speaker. And so, just sitting here thinking, there are so many different audiences that I think would be fabulous within our medical and therapeutic facilities to hear, what you're doing innovatively, because I think that, just like you were saying, you never stop learning and gathering. The more information you can gather and the more knowledge, the more power we have to help out our kids, to help out our loved ones, to develop the best that they can.
They are just so, the brain is such a complex organ, and it's so amazing, and it can do so many things, and there's so much we don't understand. And, the whole emotional challenge of trying to deal with that is one layer. So I feel like the modalities that we're using together right now, they're very effective of helping the emotional part of it. What I'm not happy about is I still feel that these modalities that I'm working at can go deeper, and they can help the brain more, so that we can help these kids, because it's not them that are having the difficulty. It's us understanding their brain. And I really believe it's an evolving issue. I don't jump on the bandwagon with other people that's an epidemic or that it's something that went wrong. I really believe that the brain is evolving, and it's up to us to understand that and to work in those parameters and to learn. And the more modalities I put together and the more I work on this, the closer I get. But there's a lot of work to be done. And these students are so gifted. And I can just feel something with them when they walk into my clinic. and they talk to me, I feel something that I can't explain. It's an energy, and that's why I'm so fascinated with this whole mind, body, spirit movement. I had to get in touch with that myself, because being ADHD, my mind was moving 285 thoughts a minute, all the time. And that created an emotional disturbance for me that I had to learn how to calm. And for someone on the spectrum who cannot communicate that, I'm not going to quit till we figure that out. Maybe not my lifetime, but we're going to find it.
Angel, I haven't known you that long, but I just love you. I feel like my favorite quote ever from Gandhi, "Be the change we wish to see in the world." I feel like that's all you as
well. Thank you.
Out there and leave no stone unturned, and keep doing the research and keep trying new things. And I mean, that is the kind of therapist that you want to be seeing, and I talk a lot about making sure when you're for our special needs kiddos, when you are making your medical team, when you're putting together that team for them, is to make sure that they all have the mindset like you. I'm saying? They're not going to leave any stone unturned. They're going to be advocating on a daily basis for your child the same way, I'm saying, that you would, and having the same interest in making sure that they get the best quality that they can. So I commend you.
If you're bringing someone that you love very much who's struggling to a therapist, and we're looking at this as science, then I think a lot of therapists want to just say that they have the answer, or that their therapy is the answer. But the problem is, I'm not afraid to say I'm wrong, or we need to be flexible and change it up. The core my core characteristic of my philosophy is that if it doesn't work, we try something else. I mean,
Right.
That's the job of a scientist, and we have to keep working, and we have to admit that it's not working so that we can find the right answer. And that takes a lot of confidence, and it also takes someone who's been burned or seen it to
Right.
be able to do that. And I fit those qualifications because it's been trial and error for so many years. But I think that we will make progress. I think we are making progress. I think it's hopeful. And I'm hoping that if this brings awareness to it, then we were successful today, Tammy,
Yes. I mean, it has to start at some point. I know even talking to you, we live about an hour away from each other here in southeastern Wisconsin. And I want to bring you here. So, I mean, just because you have that touch, you know what I'm saying? You are looking for the betterment of all of these kids and really being innovative. And like you're saying, never leaving any stone unturned and keeping doing research and trying and all that. So I just
think
it's so fabulous. So on that note, as I asked yesterday when I was talking to Christy, I know you guys work, kind of side by side in that same clinic.
Yes.
In leaving today, obviously, we're going to give people the way to contact you. If they don't live here in this state, you seem like the kind of person, and I don't want to fully speak for you, but that if there are parents in other states and other counties that wanted to reach out, that just had questions for you, you seem like you're pretty phenomenal at answering those. Would you be open to that?
Oh, absolutely. And, I will tell you that I have a community on-the-go type steel band setup. So what's really neat, I call it Angel Pan Camps. And what we do is, if a community has a whole bunch of students who would like to have a classroom experience as well as individual therapy, I can travel with the instruments. And I have enough for about 15 to 20 kids at one time.
How fun is that?
And I come right in, yes. And I have a website called Angel Pan Camp, so they can go to that and check it out. And I bring it in a trailer. I set it up. We set up for the day. I incorporate my philosophy. And then what I like to do is stick around for a day or two after for individual therapeutic appointments. And I've done some stuff in Minnesota. I'm going to be doing some things in Florida this year. And it's national.
Right.
And I would love, if my car can get there, we'll be there.
That is so awesome to know. So definitely people can reach out to you. You will travel, you will come to them, and you'll even bring enough for 15 people. I mean, how fast is that?
Right.
You'd have a whole class, invite everybody. And I think that would be even interesting, even within the workplace setting, just for, the energy and the stress relief and harmonizing and getting balance. I
Yes.
think that would be, now, have you ever done workplaces, or has it been more in that realm of like the kid?
You know what? You just gave me another idea. You're phenomenal. No, I actually have not done a corporate event, but I think that's a great idea. I think that would be wonderful. And I think, yeah, I think that's
I just think when you're bringing together that mind, body, and spirit and lowering
more research,
anxiety.
oh, it would be amazing. And it's really hard to talk about. It's really neat when they see it. So once I get one place and do it and put up the pictures, I get a lot of response from that because they see the energy. I always tell people, look at what I do and don't just ask me, because it's really amazing to watch.
When you visually. So maybe next time you're doing your road show and you're out there, we need to Facebook Live together so everybody can see it.
That would be great. I love the idea.
They can see it, they can hear it, all of that. So if there would be, and I don't know, so if there would be one thing aside from like traveling that people obviously can contact you, but if there would be one tip that you would give someone in the sense of helping with anxiety or helping with stress or helping with refocus, whether it be for their kids or themselves, just as individuals, is there something that you absolutely love, that you kind of give, I guess, of yourself to all of your clients, and always reminding them, that this would be a good practice at home, I should say, for you to do on a daily basis?
Yes. This is probably the best way for me to say this. Anxiety and stress is a symptom of something else going on. So when we get to anxiety, when you're feeling that, the first thing I say to do is breathe. The other thing I want to tell you is that anxiety is actually a healthy reaction. It's not something that means that you're sick right away. It's the body's calling card. So like we said last night, the breathing, the meditation, a nice big breath from the abdomen, nice big breath coming out. And then I always tell them to put on something that makes them feel good. Or the opposite, put on a piece of music that makes you feel sad, because a good cleansing cry is really healthy too.
I am all about the cleansing cry. People don't always understand. Sometimes they even budget the crying, but you just get it out. Like, you just got to get it out.
Crying is a good thing. Everybody tries to stop that, but that's actually washing away of all the toxins that are building up inside of you. And we do a lot of crying around here, good and bad. And I also, when you get to a crying point too, you're getting to the body's truth. And I really love that. I really love thinking about it that way. When someone gets to a point of tears with me, I know that physically we're at a point of truth. And from that point, we can really work. And so that's a really good thing.
I love that. I love that. So the breathing, and I know, like I said, Christy, she had such a wonderful thing last night when she talked in, breathe, I am so blessed, breathe out, I am so grateful. I told her from now on, I'm going to be using that all the time, everywhere that I go. But then also a good cleansing cry. It's not bad. And if you have anxiety, it doesn't mean that you're sick right away. It's just your body's, you said, what did you say? Their calling card?
The calling card for action. It's really great. And I have to tell you, acupuncture, I really love working here with Christy in this setup, because acupuncture in conjunction with what I do, you'll leave here pretty loopy sometimes, feeling so good. There's so much going on.
Right. But very relaxed, centered, and balanced.
Yeah, that's right.
with all of that. So your websites, all the things that we talked about, we're going to drop these right below. All the links will be
Yes.
below on this Facebook Live, so people will be able to find you and ask you questions. Feel free to drop any questions or comments below in the Facebook. And even if you don't do it today, if you're doing it on the replay, I know Angel will be checking up on that and she will get back to you and answer those questions. I think that we just had a grouping of different people that were listening. I don't think, from looking at my screen, I have one person said, "You are absolutely incredible." So that's wonderful. And then we have lots of different listeners. So we don't have any direct questions per se, but we're going to get all that information out. And I know, Angel, we chatted about in the future when we're doing other topics and things, you're going to be back on as a resource that we definitely are going to be connecting with again. So if you guys want to connect with her, obviously through this post, through the On Air Advocate, or personally, you are there to help. I know
Yes.
you are.
I am. Let's get it done.
Right. And so with that being said, everybody, I want you guys to have a fabulous Monday. Angel, thank you for spending the last 41 minutes with me on this Monday. Monday is always a day that people need to get going. And I think that this is good energy. Remember to breathe in, I am so blessed. Breathe out, I am so grateful, right? And
that's right.
if you want to try this week, just do it. If you guys want to check out any of our other social media applications for the On Air Advocate, just hop over to www.onairadvocate.com. You will find our podcasts, our YouTube tutorial videos, as well as our Twitter, Instagram, and our Facebook Live. And today, actually, because I know some people who watch all the time are like, "Oh, Tammy, you didn't do your normal introduction." Well, it's because I tried to be fancy today, and we're recording as well on Instagram. I was trying to be fancy like all the people who do it. I messed it up yesterday, but that's my campaign for Monday, is that try and try and try again. If you fail, you know what I'm saying? You're just that much closer to success. So with that being said, Angel, you have a fabulous Monday. Everybody else have a fabulous Monday, a great week, and we will talk again soon. God bless everyone.
Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.